Which angler took home the big trophy, $100,000, on Stage 4, Lake Eufaula for the National Professional Fishing League? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. Day 3, technically day 2 because they had to cancel the first day. Day 3 of the championship. Finale Friday, they were saying it, for the NPFL on Lake Eufaula, their 4th tournament this year. And we had Wes Logan leading after day 1. Here's what we know. No forward-facing sonar for the National Professional Fishing League. They have lots of great anglers. They had extremely high water on Lake Eufaula. Almost ridiculous high water. And they had 5 anglers with 5 cameramen, all streaming live off their website and on YouTube. And those 5 anglers that had cameramen on their boat struggled. It was another day where, unfortunately, they didn't have cameramen on the right boats. They had some time where, like KJ Queen, who was in the top 5 after day 1, picked up the pace after the 12 o'clock hour, figured it out. But most of the time, these anglers were flipping and pitching, throwing some buzz baits, some spinner baits. They were fishing traditionally, and how most people want to see bass fishing tournaments happen. And day 1 leader, Wes Logan, had not caught a fish as of 12:42 Eastern Standard Time. But what we got to see was Tommy Biffle give a soliloquy of awesome fishing on how he fishes, what he's looking for, what he's going to do. If you missed it, again, just a home run in that case. No commentary, just letting Tommy do work. His illustrious Hall of Fame career and his knowledge came out, and it was as good as anything you could listen to, and you could learn from what he was saying. We also had Gerald Swindle and Tommy Biffle on side-to-side screens, and that was wonderful. The NPFL had probably 3,400 people watching and streaming it live off YouTube. And the chat was not as good as day 2 or the first day, but it's still fun to go in there and talk and keep up with fans that love bass fishing like me. And there was one thing that stood out besides the winner and Swindle and Biffle that stood out for me on this day. And it's kind of weird. And it's not something that we see a lot of, but Al is one of the owners and is the weighmaster. He had kind of like some B-roll footage that was filmed probably earlier in the week on Eufaula in Oklahoma, and talking to the community about what some of the things about the community that we should know. And it isn't something that happens in any place else. But it was almost like some B-roll footage that was put into a commercial and just talked about the area. And you got to learn what was going on, what they were proud of, some of the stuff to come see. And to be honest, I really enjoyed it. I actually wished it was a little bit longer, because when the fishing is slow, this is a perfect time to promote the place that they're at. Promote Eufaula and Oklahoma and the great place that they're holding the tournament. Because we don't get that a lot of times. We just know where they go and the lake that they're fishing. And it was something really interesting and something that I really enjoyed. And one of the other things I found interesting, and that I think I knew beforehand, is that they closed the catch track an hour before the weigh-in. So it adds a storyline, and while I like it, I also disliked it. Now, I liked it because it did make me want to watch the weigh-in. I also hated it because I had to watch the weigh-in. And the weigh-in is really long. It's methodical. And I've come to the conclusion that the weigh-ins aren't for me at this point in time. But that's just my personal opinion. And my other negative about this was there were supposedly a lot of dead fish. A lot of dead fish penalties that happened on day 2. And that's really unfortunate. That's the thing we don't want to hear in this community, in this industry. We don't want to hear of lots of dead fish. And hopefully today, or their finale day, it didn't happen as much. poor. They didn't mention as much from what I could tell. But I don't watch the whole weigh-in. I kind of put the weigh-in on this television right there, and I don't put any sound on. I just kind of watch it and do work. And lastly, the positive, another positive, is that Chad Marlar won this event. He's not an elite angler. He's not a BPT angler. He's been an angler that has been on the NPFL for years. He took home the giant trophy and $100,000. And that narrative that we had heard, and even I've said it, that the elite anglers and the BPT anglers were winning a majority of the tournaments, or were winning a majority of the money. This went to one of the NPFL anglers who won 100 grand. And he beat out anglers like Gerald Swindle, who came in second, and Mike Quinlan in third. KJ Queen was in fourth, Greg Hackney was in fifth, Buddy Gross was in sixth, Brandon Cobb was in seventh, Tommy Biffle was in eighth, John Cox was in ninth, and Hunter Bachman was in 10th. Now, of those anglers, 3 of the top 10 were not elite anglers. But it still is wonderful to see, and gives a lot of anglers that are on NPFL a little bit of light that with hard work and pushing forward, they can win. Because there is, and I said it in yesterday's video, there is a big difference in anglers who are full-time anglers versus anglers who are trying to be a professional but also work a full-time job. It's like, stop going, just do yourself a favor, go fishing. Don't go fishing for several weeks, and then assume that you can go back at it immediately and cast as well as you think you can cast. It was funny because I talked to an angler about this exact situation, and he said a lot of times it takes a whole day for him to get back into the rhythm of fishing. And the anglers that are fishing professionally on the elite, so the BPT, and they're doing it full time, and they're full-time anglers, do have momentum, and they do have other things on their side. So having Chad win this tournament is exceptional, and congratulations to him. And we should be making sure we support him and just giving him lots of props. So Chad, congratulations to you and your family, and good job, dude. Amazing, amazing tournament. You deserve it. But what did you think? Did you watch? Did you not watch? What were some of your positives? What were some of your negatives? Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. I need to make that very clear. I really do appreciate it. These times are really weird. Even today, to be honest. Some of the stuff that went on today, just covering this tournament, was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just having a hard time. That's the truth. So I really appreciate everybody. But if you're not a subscriber, click that like and subscribe, and welcome to the team and family. And I really do appreciate you. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.